All right. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. All
Hello,
right.
everyone.
Hello. Good night. Welcome to Black Marriage and Family show tonight. We hope that people are starting to tune in and listening and get ready for a very entertaining night. Because tonight,
I can't really hear you, Ron.
you can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Can't hear me?
It's kind of low.
Kind of low. Let me see. Let me see what I can do to make it a little bit louder.
It's kind of low.
Okay, so maybe it's just low for us. Maybe it's low for us. I know that out in the world, I think people are hearing. Let me just do a couple interconnects, see if that helps. And I forgot my headphones, so I know I'm kind of messed up. All right, what about now, honey? Can you hear me?
It's the same, but maybe it's me. You think I should put my headphones on?
I don't know because it's loud and clear. We're getting a loud and clear reading on the because I actually hear the echo somewhere. I don't know where I'm hearing the echo at. So it is. Well, first let me say
So you say
first.
you are getting an echo?
Well, I was hearing the echo. I'm hearing that some. I'm hearing my voice somewhere. I don't know where. Not an echo. I can hear that I'm actually talking to you. Maybe I hear from your end. You don't hear that?
Mm-mm.
All right. So let's try to go. Let's see if we can go. Maybe I just talk loud. What about if I talk loud like this?
It's still low, but it might be me.
What are you listening to?
Say it again.
What are you listening on?
That's better. I'm on my phone actually. I'm gonna walk
There's
outside
somewhere
and get my
somebody
head.
listening to.
Hmm? You said what am I listening on?
Yeah.
Just I have it on my phone. It's on my speakerphone in the house.
Mm.
But go ahead. Let's get started. I can
But you don't hear it. You know, I get okay. Maybe it's that. Oh, you know what? I know what it might be. I'm hearing music, but oh, okay. That's what I'm hearing. I got the music playing in the background. I can hear the music in the background. I'm saying, why am I hearing music in the background? Look at that. All right, so good night. Hey, good night, everybody. You know, we don't have no producers. We don't have a high tech crew. Um, we just got StreamYard, and we got our phones and our cell phones and our computers, and we coming to you live. So if you here, you here. If not, you not. I know that it's Thursday night. People are out there, and tonight's we wanted to kind of just follow up on. We seen a lot of the prep for Valentine's Day. Even though I don't really practice Valentine's Day, I practice Komi. It's still the day. I think going to be the last day coming up, following those principles. Black Love Day, and we I wanted us to kind of have a conversation about what was our Valentine's, what was the Valentine's weekend like, and what, because we know that last week we were seeing Fawn getting duded up and getting her hair done and doing all the things that someone would need to do to get ready for the I guess for the big something. It was something was gonna be going on. I don't know what.
No, that's actually just my hair day. So I,
Just
that's every 2 weeks. That's just my hair day, of which I got caught in the rain. But um,
oh, even
yeah,
after you got your hair done, you got caught in the rain.
definitely did get caught in the rain, and it's fine. I mean, um, yeah. So that was. I mean, it definitely was preparation, but I already knew that we didn't have like big celebrations going on because for me, I buy myself something every day, right? Literally every day a package comes here. And I was
Oh,
talking
from
to one of my
Amazon or whatever.
anywhere. I'm a shopper. You know that. Like I can make an outfit out of Dollar General. I'm just a shopper.
Mhm.
Um, but I was talking to one of my friends, and he had made a post about um how he saw a group of people celebrating love. They had got in the house, and he was like, this is what it should be about, like the celebration of
Oh,
love,
that
not.
group of guys.
No, it wasn't. No, 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 no. This was like a group of married people.
Oh,
So they
okay.
had gotten together and they were playing games and, just kind of celebrating love together. And he was saying that that's what he thought that it should be about. It shouldn't be about purses and all this other stuff anymore. And when I spoke with him, I said, I think it's about it is still about gifting people. You know what I'm saying? We can't, we often try to make it that people are some kind of way flawed because they want gifts or because they want things. It's like, well, why do you need that? And I was like, I think it's about the quality of the gift for the person. I'm not saying like monetary, but like, did you hear what the person was saying that they wanted?
Hmm.
Like I wanted papados. I really don't like papados, but for some reason I have been craving papados, and
What's Papados?
it's a kind of a commercial chain seafood restaurant. Oh shoot.
Okay. What
Um,
is
but for some reason I wanted it, and for us to get to it, I had to go. We had to go to Birmingham, but my gift for that day was just kind of going to Papados, and I wanted to go hang out at one of our friends' spot. And we kind of did that, but I didn't have to ask for it.
right?
It was just kind of like, hey, the reservation is at 1:30. You ready? I mean, we missed the reservation. We had to sit at the bar, but those are the kind of the people that we are anyway. Um, but I think it's about the quality of the gift, and also about us not, often what I feel like as women is that we compare what quality is to what other people are getting, which can definitely just
Right.
destroy any day that you might have.
Yeah. Any day, I mean, I hear you. That sounds. It's funny that you say that because I think that if I can go back and I can think about historical Valentine's Day events and how they was destroyed based on being a person who likes to be a surpriser, right?
Hmm.
I think I like to pretend like sometimes I'm nonchalant or whatever. But I really like to see like I don't like Christmas, but I love to see people come and get their Christmas stuff and be like, "Oh, I'm so happy I got this." I think I just like to see people be happy, right?
Yes, I
And
think that's an Aries trait.
I
That's a
think
gift for us.
when you're allowed to actually see people
Oh, I'm
and
so sorry.
seeing them happy and you're able to like look at things in a little different way. So I can definitely identify with and again, kind of almost what you said about doing that all the time, right? It's not like a
Mhm.
thing that you wait for anything. Like if somebody was like saying, I wish I could buy that or whatever, you just go get it because they wish they could have it. And guess what? It'd be nice to get it, right? I sometimes wonder, is that an effect of something that in your own childhood that, sometimes people have those things, a child you wanted something, but you couldn't have it or you couldn't afford it or couldn't whatever. And so now being able to see other people get things that I know that I know this. I have been watching people in the line at a store or kids at a grocery store or somewhere, and the people they can't get something. I want to almost say, go ahead and get it. I'll buy it for you.
Mhm. For
And
sure, and oftentimes I do. I will do it
I don't
because
know why. I don't know why that is. I think is one of the things for me that I feel comfortable and I
Mhm.
get excited about wanting and trying to do. So that's a very
But now let me tell you where it's become tricky with me. Is because I used to just be able to do it and not have expectations, or if I had expectations, I didn't know how to express that I have an expectation, right? Because we're often taught to like not have, or that is that we can't really have expectations. I wish we had our pastor on today. There's a verse in the Bible, you give without expectations or things like that. And I find that to be super unrealistic these days. Like, I always tell you, I'm at my grandmother's 100. I'm turning 49 this year. I'm really feeling midlife-ish, not midlife crisis. I don't feel like there's any crisis, but I feel like a midlife awakening. And I feel like I was taught not to expect, but I absolutely would and do appreciate when somebody appreciates what I like and what I want. So
Mm.
even though it may not always be, I may have enough to go get what I want in the store. Um, I think I appreciate the person making room for my clothes or my shoes, or saying, okay, well, I know you like this, so I built a hat rack over here, or I did this way. Just appreciating what I appreciate. Like supporting. I guess it's more of a support because hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Hey, Bubba, I'm good. Hold on one second. My mother-in-law just came in. I'm gonna I'm gonna get
Oh,
Aaron because I'm just on my podcast. Hold on one second.
yes. See, now let me say this to the people
Okay.
out there get advertising the time. We are not the bourgeoisie podcasters, right? We're not going to some place. We just getting together, and I think this is what people could say, well, oh, people always got something to say. But if you're listening, you hear really good things compared to having this nice fancy package with all this rapping, and they ain't talking about nothing. They ain't even really saying anything that's has any, and they're not even being real. It's like scripted. It's not even. I say that because I watch some of these things, and see the things that's going on, and say, wow, listen to this. Cause listen, as you said that, okay, I was listening to this clip, right, before we came on, and I guess I don't know if I should save it. Let you keep going, and I'm gonna save it because I want to hear what your thoughts is about it. Um, and you know, what do you think about it?
About what the clip that you were listening to?
Yeah, you heard it, huh? You heard it.
No, what? I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. So the clip I was listening to was a lady saying that men that would date white women are the same men that will sleep with men.
No, I don't.
And
I
so the
don't
guy
know
who
about that.
listen, and so the guy who was showing the clip when he came on, he was like, it wasn't what she said, it was what the people in that people would even take that somebody kind of was saying that this was researched and found out to be true. And I was just thinking, and I thought the same thing he was thinking, who would be wasting their time to research something in that because I'm curious, who is that for? Is that for all men or just black men?
Because I mean, so the white man is okay, but now I understand a little bit of. I'm not going to say the validity of it. I understand the root of it. If it was written by a black woman, you come behind everything, and you're always looking for the explanation as to why you come behind everything. And it is so unrealistic, or it's realistic, but it's disheartening to think that you just come behind everything because of your skin color. So there
Mm.
has to be a definition as to why. I mean, people will date turtles before they date us.
Well,
And
that can't be true. See, again, that can't be true because white goofy guys are dating y'all at the highest level.
yeah, but a lot of times it is I'm not saying that they're not I'm not saying that they're not attracted, because there are people who, my nieces are mixed. There are people who are just attracted to whatever they're attracted to. But I am saying that look at the generations. One, this generation is completely different. Everybody's fluid and they're dating whomever they want to, right? So if we're talking about the younger people, okay, but there is a novelty. There's a novel. There's
Yeah,
I know. I'm a dark skinned black girl.
the
There
fetish.
is some kind of something that people will a kink that people will have for, oh, I dated her, she's black, she's this. And I always tell people I dated the rainbow. I was a flight attendant. I was actually curious to see who. what people did in their homes,
Oh,
how
you
they
know
did it in
what?
their homes.
Hold on. You about to make me go to another post that I seen about this lady who say she was starting to be a flight attendant, and she was showing the people that she had been in relationship with. And show after she had been a flight attendant after a year, and the races, the race and demographics of people she was with, and it was wild, man. I wish I would keep those clips. I don't know how to keep stuff like that because that stuff is so interesting to
Because
think
you're
about.
exposed to everything. I mean,
Right,
and again,
right.
depending on where you're from and what you feel comfortable with. I mean, I have friends who never dated outside of their race. They were flight attendants and they are still flight attendants. They were from Atlanta. They had a whole black experience growing up. They grew up in Stone Mountain and there was no white people in sight. Where I grew up in Tampa and there was everything. So I felt comfortable doing the dating. But during that time I understood that there were kinks and I understood that I mean I had a guy need me to be from like Sierra Leone or somewhere for some reason. And I was like, dude, I am from Tampa, Florida. Like both of my parents are black. I mean, I had someone say, well, I mean, you can't be American because he needed the excuse to be able to date me because dating a black
Black
American female,
American woman is like the pits, right? So
right? Like you've hit rock bottom.
the worst
So,
thing mom ever had. So
right.
he wants
It just circles back to the girl needing, you need to know why you're last, why you're chosen last, or why your man, the man who looks like you, will treat you like trash, but will treat somebody else like somebody outside of their race who doesn't look like their mama, who doesn't look like their sister, who does not look like everything that they say that they cherish in the world. They'll treat that person 1,000 times better than they treat you, or it appears. It seems like it. So I can see why you would say, "Oh, okay, they must be gay." I can see it. I don't think it's true. I do think that there's something there.
Mhm.
The something there is that they must have some identity, something going on, and I do.
Oh no,
There,
I don't think I know for sure.
right.
I have a very strong sense of this, and I think I have a full understanding and an idea of it. That we are attracted to things that we like based on our exposure, right? We are also unattracted to things based on our exposure. Without a doubt, I can have an attraction. I think as a man, I know that I am attracted to um, not a particular type of woman, right?
Mhm.
I'm attracted to not a not particular, not a particular shade of woman, right? So because of my experience in my growing up, seeing my mother and my sister understanding, identifying their beauty as black women, right?
Mhm.
Understand that the viewpoint of the women that I would initially find attractive would have the complexion of my mother or my sister. And and I know I have, and I'm not just saying it, but I have spent time evaluating that because I have seen in cases where there have been women that I had zero attraction for, and I couldn't understand why I can't get an attraction for them in that pure way because they don't have the beauty of what I see my mother and my sister, their complexions, right?
Mhm.
That's the complexion that I'm attracted to. So there's some other uh, complexions that a lot of people like. you know, they have they're they like, and I think that also a, a separate beauty that you can see in women that is made from your own environment, your own home. So not just my mother and my sister, but my grandmother, my aunt, what they look like is what I think that beauty looks like because of loving myself, being taught to love myself, so then ultimately being taught to love them, even how I see them treated, how they treated me, right? How we interacted, how things happened, didn't ever make me feel turned off by somebody who liked them, right? So it's that dynamic, because you'll see people who say, this guy grew up. I can think of somebody right now. They grew up. There's I did that. Their mom loves them so much. They have no relationships with their dad, whatever. Not really, because the mom and dad don't, and whatever. But they have never dated a black woman their whole entire life. They don't even. They don't even. They don't even look for. They don't even look for. And a matter of fact, I remember there was a point in the aspect where overhearing a conversation where they didn't want to be with no ghetto black woman, and how. And I was just thinking to I'm trying to process that from my own experience. See, I can only relate it to my own experience. I'm trying to relate this idea is that why would you like to be with any other woman or be attracted to any other woman other than the woman who looks like your mother? Listen, the Oedipus Rex syndrome is real. Oedipus and Alexis, those things are real, and they have a true idea that we will naturally and should immediately be attracted to people who look like our parents, act like our parents, be like them, because they are our first hero. They're our first everything, right? Other than if you find that to be something that's conflictual, problematic, that you don't like, or you have a rejection to it, then you refuse to go be involved with anybody looking like your parent, even sounding like them, any of that. And that's just my hypothesis. I don't have any.
There's another little piece that we got to add to this. Okay. Sometimes I do think, and this gonna be kind of sexist. All right. Sometimes I do think that men enjoy the praise that Black women are not allowed to enjoy. So Black men have been, I don't know, praised by people of different nationalities, different races for so long. When I say praise, I mean, oh, he's so hung. Oh, he's Mandingo. Oh, big black, whatever. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like all of these things. And I think sometimes when some of them do date outside of their race. Right. But it's okay.
That's
but the thing is, it's okay on the male side for it to be. Like it's okay. Oh, I do remember this distinctly when I was dating this one guy, this white guy. I can remember him always saying, oh, like we would be out and he'd be like, oh, look at that black guy. Like he's probably trying to figure out like why you're over here or like what. And I'm like why are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? Because like y'all, some kind of way you see a black man as the most intimidating thing ever. And I do feel like when you're black, a black male who's not considered intimidating in the black demographic, you feel real good when the white girl and her family is like, oh, we got Big Brother Joe from wherever. But if you were at home, nobody even sees you. Not that nobody sees you as like attractive, but nobody sees you as like threatening or like this big man dingo man. You just like a regular Joe bro. Mm-hmm. And so I think that a lot of times men are tasked with being more than regular, right? And because you're tasked with being more than regular, I think sometimes they find themselves in these interracial relationships because they're glorified as more than regular. You get your bald heads, you start looking like, I'm really not trying to be funny. I'm serious. Like you start looking like, okay, well, this Zeus, you know what I'm saying? Like but if you look at it on the other side with black women, a lot of times nowadays the black woman is becoming somebody that everybody wanted. But a lot of times, if you saw somebody paired up, a black woman paired up with, I'll say in our generation, a black woman paired up with a white, the opposite of, they the white women are getting all of the like handsome, attractive black men, but then the white man is getting somebody that the black man probably wouldn't have dated. It's just, and so I think that we're all just trying to be a. I'm saying this to say this right here: the attraction part, if it is not a sexual attraction, right? If it's not an attraction that requires you to have more than just sex, I think it really comes down to wanting to be wanted by somebody. Like I want to say it comes down to color, but I, in my experience, personally and family, like my brother, I think that the way that he is appreciated by his wife makes him feel loved and wanted. And I don't think he's felt that
So
in
let me
other relationships.
I'm about to throw something at you, Fawn. That I I've had this theory and I've seen it and I thought about it many years. The idea of when people have a conceived notion about you and then they get to know you and it's not what they thought it was, how much they now are so attracted and want to be around. I've seen that in my own experience in life where people disliked me because of who they thought I was, how I thought I was, but once they got to know me, I got to be involved. And it comes from the idea that the person had some stereotype that they initially felt about the people. So I see this very often now in the same capacity and somehow we end up talking about interracial couples. But even in that case, because I'm going to bring it back to from there just to regular black couples, right?
Mhm.
We when we think that people are a certain way, and then we get around them, be around them, and find out they're completely different. How sometimes that makes us even more enthralled with them, more want to be with them, and want to have relationships with them, as well as I think it operates the reverse way. Once you find out about a person, you be like, I thought she was this and she really that, or he was this and he's really that. But it's much more. I think it's much more simplified when you looking at race, race in
Oh,
this
right.
this culture that people say this chick, I initially see her, oh, she probably like Meg the Stallion, so she about to wily on me. So let me go in and then find out that really you got a whole bunch more in common with her intellectually, morally, um, um, inspiration wise. So now you feel somehow now you feel guilty by the misjudgment of this person, and you now realize that this person is somebody that I really want to be with and be around because my initial bias of turns into uh, now a strong attraction of them because they are everything. The first is the guilt that I've choked. I made an assumption about them to be one way, and now they're really a way that I like. Now I'm
Well,
now
and
it's
herein lies the problem with some black men. Okay. Because I do feel like they'll make, and I'm gonna make this a black man thing. I do feel like black men present a wall, right? You present a wall, and it's a weird wall. It's a wall that like only you can scale, right? Because what you say is got to be right about this person. Okay, I like this person, and I'm only gonna allow myself to like a halfway up the wall, right? But this person is giving you that like you back energy, but you are discovering, oh, I like this person more and more and more, but you're still holding back, right?
well, that's true. I think that, but you understand why that is because
No, I
many,
don't.
many men, especially black men, have not been socialized to to carry that kind of love. I want to say this, and this is true to fact. When we look at percentage wise, people will say, why can't I have a man like this this Hispanic man or this white man or this Asian man, and why does the black man can't have and show that same type of love? Why can't he be like that? Or why? And I want to be very clear. That's not true for all. That's not true for African men. It's not maybe even true from black diaspora people, but it is very true for black Americans because we have to understand and accept the conditioning that has happened to our black men, not just to them, but into the relationship of black men and women's relationships, how there is some components that we would just rather not act like even exist. If you can imagine being a man who had to love a woman and you loved her so much, and master knew you loved her so much, so every night he came to your cabin and had sex with the woman that you love so much, knowing that it could destroy you and hurt you, by some condition, you begin to say, yo, I gotta find a way not to have these feelings, not to have these. And I know people say, well, that was in goddamn slavery. What they gotta do it now? And I think that the same thing it works in the same capacity of the oppression, because the oppression in slavery somehow we feel is different from the oppression today.
But who is oppressing us now?
But mentally wise, it's not the same.
Listen, I'm gonna have to call bullshit on this. I agree. I completely agree with everything that you're saying, right? But when you become your own oppressor, it's your business. Black men have now become their own oppressors.
But because you listen, you're talking about a paradox that is the reality, because black men do become their own oppressor, right? Because they have been related to be, because they're men, they have been subjugated to be oppressors, right? So in the same capacity that you already have the strike against you of blackness, now you got the strike against you of being a man. And on top of that, you don't have the social emotional skills
that
to
part.
manage through that with a partner. But listen.
But it's that part right there that you have to intentionally get as a grown. Okay, so the more that we grow, right? This is my take on it. And today I might be the one for this because I'm not interested today, right? So today I'm a little irritated. I'm a little irritated with relationships today. So today I might be the one. All right. So here is where I find that I can't give much more. I'm not going to use grace. I can't give much more rope, right? Because when we talk about growth in life, right? There are different things that we have to do to grow. First thing you do is, you got your mom teaches you at home, then you enter into school, you enter into high school, you enter kindergarten, you do all of these things, right? Well, there is a part of your psychosocial growth that at one point black men were not allowed to have, right? But it's free to the world now. Psychosocial growth is everywhere and it is free. And if you desire it, and if you love somebody, and if you want to continue to love somebody, even if it's not your woman, if it's your mama, your dog, your whatever, if you want to coexist with someone, it is your job and responsibility to be educated in your own psychosocial deficiencies. And if you do not do that, then what you are telling the people who love you back is that you don't care, because it is available. There's an abundance of help everywhere. Even if you just went and got help on Instagram and you followed Instagram people, there is an abundance. So it's very hard for me. And the reason why I say this is because I've had a series of conversations with several different men, right, over the last week, which is crazy. I mean, I've just sitting down somewhere and I just have a conversation. And the amount of 50-year-olds who have no clue where they are psychosocially is very scary to me. I felt like I had a conversation, the last conversation I had last night, I felt like I had the same conversation with the 17-year-old in class earlier that day. And I just thought, now at some point it becomes irresponsible. At some point, you've seen it on TV, bruh. And there's been some woman in your life, and I actually said this to him. There's been some woman in your life who tried to demand you to grow up, and you resisted. You said no.
I think the key word that you just said, there's some woman in your life that demanded you to grow up. Listen, and I want to be very clear here. Who was she to demand that he grows up? And
Well, he probably was demanding. Okay,
hold
go
on,
ahead. Go
hold on.
ahead. Go ahead.
Who it ordained her
Hmm.
be the person to determine what grown up is for men or for a man?
Okay,
Where
I'm
did
gonna
she
tell you.
where did she get the authorization to say, hey, as this woman, this is what you should be to grow? Because I'm gonna tell you something. There's a bigger society out here that men listen to before they
Hmm.
listen, right?
Okay,
That
I
says that
completely agree. I'm
are
gonna
not.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you who gave her that authority. He did. When you needed her to accept your bullshit and to stay there and continue to stay there and accept your bullshit, you gave her the authority to want you to be something different. You gave her the authority to say, if I do this, then I need you to do this. Because
But
nobody's
that's
just
the
sitting,
problem, That's
nobody,
the
but
problem.
no, but now we go back to the Valentine's Day gift. Nobody is sitting around saying, you know what? You could be a fuck up forever. You are standing in the gap for that person because you are hoping that in one day they will realize I love them so much that they did this. Now, we all have a time limit, or we all have the responsibility to look at it and say, okay, that's dumb. This person ain't never gonna do this way. But from everything that we know and everything that we've been taught from the Bible, all of it, we went through, which is one of my favorite chapters. We went through, I think it's called the Beatitudes or whatever, the charity suffers long. The one thing that always sticks out to me is charity suffers long and is kind, right? How the fuck do you suffer long and be kind? Look at relationships.
Well, again, here, listen. See how you just said it? See what you just said? It
Mm-hmm.
brings it brings us right back to us as Black Americans, descendants of slavery, of the conditioning of oppression.
Mm-mm.
Why you would even what? Listen,
Mm-mm.
I can tell you right now,
Mm-mm.
people are not going to suffer in charity.
Right.
They do not. The slave,
But
listen,
you've been taught that.
the plantation owner's wife did not suffer in
Right.
charity. She did not. She did not
Right.
want.
But
She was
when do
oppressed.
we?
She was oppressed, and at the same time she was oppressed, she was calculating to not suffer in charity.
I agree. But when is it our responsibility? When is it my responsibility with someone that I love to say, let me not make you suffer long anymore.
We don't know how.
Let
Listen,
let
Ron,
me just let you
I don't.
go.
I will not listen. I know people will see this as a cop out, excuse, a tool belt, whatever you want. But a large majority of us do not know how to do that because we are too constantly just trying to survive who we are. So not enough people have enough uh, self-actualization to be at a point to even think about other people. They will be with other people, they will marry other people, they will give them up, but they're not really thinking about them because they are still a large majority of our populations are in survival. Listen, we have a whole new generation of kids who have opportunities out the gazoo of being able to do anything, and a large majority of them are in survival mode. They are not in any mode of
Oh,
saying
definitely.
forward thinking. Oh, let me take advantage of any of all these things. oh, how can I make myself different? They would rather just say, I want to blend into the crowd and be what everybody else is. And the larger majority of the crowd is in survival mode. Even when
Well,
they're
and I
not.
think that I'm sorry, I think that's passed down from their parents. I had a talk with a kid today and it was like I have high anxiety, but my mom has high anxiety. So you know that these coping skills or lack thereof are passed down. So these kids real in really, today I was giving advice. I wasn't doing therapy. Today I was like, hey, I advise you not to act like your mom acts because you don't have to. Your mom anxiety comes from somewhere else. My and
Yeah,
I
man,
and I and I agree with you. I completely agree with what you're saying. But where we do not or where we fall short is at what point. I remember when I was new into therapy and I was actually I was still in school and we watched this video. You probably watched it too. And it was a Saturday Night Live skit. And the person was in therapy, and all the therapists would say is stop it. Stop it. Don't do that. Stop it. And you know that I often feel like Black folks got to do therapy different than everybody else. And stop it. Stop it. Stop. Like you know that you're doing stuff. You know that you're not equipped to I'm not even going to say equipped to love because I feel like everybody's equipped to love. You know that in your current state of whatever it is that you have going on, you know that you're going to hurt your children, your lover, your everything. Stop it. Stop
right.
it.
But guess what the cheat code for that is?
What?
As we come all the way back, I'm gonna bring us all the way back. The cheat code is to go get with somebody who don't have to deal with the same thing. And so guess what? You never really have to face it, and they accommodate. They accommodate because you're different from them.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
a black
But
man
but then
can't
you
tell.
make that
A
person
black man, listen, if you ever go see the most blackest
absolutely.
black power dudes who black, hey, white, this and that, and you go see what their partner is a white woman. You know why?
Mhm.
Because he can present the idea of being blackity, black, 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 black. You don't know the struggle, blah, blah, blah. But he can't tell that to a black wife. Because her struggle 10 times worse than he can't sell that to her. But he can sell it to somebody who's non-black woman who's not a descendant of slave, because she'll be like, oh, she feels the sympathy for him. She can't empathize because she don't have an experience, but she can sympathize and she allows him to be in his greatness of all that. And,
And
and
she
that,
also feels a level of guilt. She feels a level
exactly that. She doesn't
of
have that
guilt about
experience.
it.
Right. And, and
Right.
and we see that over and over and over again. And so then you'll say, oh, well, that person seems so strong. Yeah, they're strong. But why you never got married to a black woman? Because that narrative doesn't work when you have to equally work with a person who is really the most disrespected person, the most disrespected person of all, because she's a woman, one, then she's black, two. And then anything else that come with it, God forbid she got some body uh shaming things going on, or her appearance of American or European beauty doesn't fit the stand. So you just keep adding
Mhm.
on. You just keep adding on. Oh, and then sometimes what we also didn't see, and this is something I keep seeing often, that insecurity that is placed on our black women makes them grind and go hard, right? But
Oh, for sure.
they then begin to go too hard, that they're so hard. And what I mean by hard, they go so high that you can't even connect with any regular black brother
But
because you're
then
too
but it trickles down. And like I say this all the time. I remember going to school and I remember being told you don't need no man, you just need your education. You don't need no man. You just need your education. And my mama didn't tell me that. My mama was never on that. But all of the women that were in my space that were like the high power, which was ironic because they were all in bad marriages, all in very bad marriages. When I look back on it, I'm like, whoa, that was horrible. But they were preaching from a level of hurt. You don't need no man. You just need this. So when I'm with my kids and I hear them say, one had a horrible birthday and her dad had hurt her feelings, and um, I said something, and I was like, "No, I'm going to do that with my man this weekend." And she said, "Well, why do you have to wait on him?" I was like, "I don't have to. I want to. I said, I don't have to. I said, I don't want to. I need to. I want to connect with him or something like that." And she said, "That's for me." She said, "All right." She said, "Miss Robinson, you don't need no man." I said, "No, baby, you don't need hurt. You do need connection and you do deserve connection and you will have it one day.
Yeah,
What you don't need is hurt.
I,
You don't need to be abused, but you do need connection." But my point is that we are literally still teaching each other that we do not need each other. Like
because it's easier.
it's just easier.
It's easier to say I will not do it than to go through the struggle of the. Listen, the hardest relationships, and this is why when I see these people, I give them praise and honor. The hardest people are black couples that you see together striving because you know they've been through a fire. And if they haven't just been through the fire of their own relationship, they've been through the fire of people who want them to fail. Even people in their own family, people who should be
Thinking
helping them,
about that the other
people
day.
who should be helping them to go forward are initially trying to destroy them. And you say, hey, how many people say, because they know that this is work. It's not you're not getting the European, you're not getting the Hispanic, you're not getting the Asian, you're not getting the Indian, you're not getting that fantasy of a marriage. You are getting the slave catcher could come and move you at any time, could take you, sell you off, tell your kids, rape your partner. That's what you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, trying to manage in a relationship, and that most people can't see it because they think that, oh, what's different from me to him? That's the same thing. There's a major difference, and this is why we suffer, because no one wants to acknowledge our trauma. We listen. If Jewish relationships don't work, the reason they don't work is because they have been so oppressed through the time that they have suffered the Holocaust. That's why the
Something.
relationships don't work.
But okay. I was thinking
And not
about
for
this.
black people. Not for black people.
No,
We
but
don't
listen.
work. We don't. Our relationship don't work because we don't want them to work. Because we
No.
we
They people have acknowledged, you took the black man out, and this broke up this, and this broke up that, and I definitely acknowledge that, and I know that that's the root cause. I get that, but I got to go back to what you said. What did you say? You just said something about dang it, it was right on my head. Just getting old. Oh, I've been thinking about this because I follow my horoscope sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes you get on there and that's all you see because you clicked on it, and So one week my horoscope kept saying people are praying on your downfall. People are praying on your downfall, and I was struggling with that because I'm thinking, who the fuck is even thinking about me at like 6 o'clock in the morning? Like, what? What the fuck would you even want? Why in the fuck would you even be thinking about me in my relationship? What in the absolute fuck could you even want to know about it? What is it that you want from it? Right? And so I convinced myself that nobody's praying on my downfall. That maybe it's a part of my excuse for feeling awkward or feeling inferior or feeling or whatever it is. Like, are there really people trying to make these black relationships not work? Or are they not working because we thinking about people not making a relationship work?
are we working at our own devices, and our devices don't have
Right.
we don't have the skills because we are using not our own playbook, but someone else's playbook to run
For
play.
sure. For sure.
Listen,
I
if we
just
had
don't
no play
know.
and they got the plays from another team and said, "Oh, we think we can win the championship just like they did." Guess what? You're not. You matter of fact, you probably gonna go. Your record gonna be uh 3 and 38, 3 and 13, 3 and 13, because you're going to be 3 and 13 because it's not for you. It hasn't come from you. It's not what you know. You're just trying to do what somebody else did.
Well, I think the one thing that we off a little bit tonight on how we normally are right on. We normally agree with everything, but I think the one thing that I do agree with you, and I have to put it in my own context, is that there are things that are against that couple, but it's not from the love. It's from the outside world. It's from trying to assimilate in a world in the European space, in the space that you don't. It's from trying to grow outside of being in a relationship. So it's from money. It's from the children. It's from trying to make your relationship be one that supports the world in which we live in.
It's from trying to have what is a normal relationship based on what was tragic, right?
Right.
And I think that this is where, as much as you might not think we agree, we just coming from two, and this is the important part. We are coming from it from two different points of view, maybe a feminist and a masculine point of view. But I think listen, we done said we agreed, and it's just some of the semantics. But here's the point I'm making. We agreeing more than most couples would agree at all, right? About these things. We listen, forget about couples, men, a group of men and a group of women. Let's add this five men circle the other day and those about to fight about to get it on, and they got it on because there are people who placate, right? Who will placate and say, well, you wait. Well, Clifton Powell, I think that was the point that he was saying that he's learning how, and the guy was like, you wait till you 60 and 70 years old to just finally whatever. And I think that's unfair. It's unfair because he's not to say he old enough to be your dad, right? The guy who was talking to him, Clifton Powell, probably old enough to be his dad. Probably got kids his age, right? He comes from a different time. A lot of what happens is generational things begin to come into play that messes some of this up as well, because you have people who believe that in this day and time, you should be able to do this because you got to always trust and believe women, and you got to always protect women and all these things. And I think that, do you think that men back there didn't trust or believe or try to protect women? They just had to do it a different way than how you doing it. You have a it's like, oh, I have the ability to go purchase a gun now, walk around with it on my hip, right? And I could do whatever I need. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Yo, do you know that was once a point that if you was even found with a gun, you and your whole family would be lynched and killed? So for you to sit here and now at a different time with privilege to say, well, you should have did this and you should have been like this, is not taking accountability. And I think this all the time for what your parents and your foreparents went through to maintain for you to be here. Or to
Okay.
get,
You're gonna need to tell me what Clifton was talking about, because if Clifton is talking about at 60 that he's just discovering how to be a good husband and father,
no, I
Clifton
think
better
that
go
he
suck a
was no,
leg.
I think he was because I think he had been married for so many years and he got a divorce recently. So
Okay, so
no,
he's just discovering that he likes white women and men. No, I get it. Okay, so he's just
but
discovering himself what he needs.
I think one of the things is that, and I think what he was saying, the young guy couldn't understand, and I could hear. I didn't get into the whole thing because I didn't like it, because I felt like it was. I don't like certain things when I feel like that someone's putting them on with an agenda, right? And
Mhm.
I don't like anything that seems like this group of people put something on with an agenda, because when that happens, you don't get fairness, and you get exactly this issue that happened in the discussion, the argument, because there are people with agendas who can't accept that somebody can be one way and another person be another
Mhm.
way. That's the part that you find out that is agenda, because now you got to make that person a villain. They got to be a villain. Let's take I'll give you a great example. Here's an example. Some more.
Okay,
Some
I
more
saw something that she got canceled or something like that.
supposed to get canceled because she made a comment about um a joke about the people who was killed in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Family Dollar, right? Saying that if and almost to the point that she would hope that her families would not tell people that she was at the Family Dollar, telling that she was at CVS. Okay, that's a joke. It's comedy, but a lot of people took offense to it and said, "Hey, that's kind of not favorable to the people who got killed, or what happened, or how it went down." And I say to myself is, okay, it could be, it could be, but what was her intent and content? Was she doing that to hurt the people who was killed, or was she doing that to say for herself how she would be embarrassed for herself and how she is if that had happened to her, and that she would hope that people wouldn't be saying she was at the Family Dollar. And again, we're talking about who she is as a comedian, as the class, the celebrity of where she is, because I know the richest people go to the Family Dollar and Dollar General.
Right.
So
Yeah, and ultimately she's an entertainer, right? But you just hit on something that us non-entertainers have to understand. Nobody cares about your intent. At the end of the day, I really truly have. I'm telling you, this middle of this life thing for me. I don't know how many times I've said I didn't intend for it to go that way, and I've lost it. Like I've lost whatever it was that I was trying to conquer because it was my intent. My intent was completely different. And I think that's where we run into problems with relationships as well. Because sometimes your intent is internal and you don't show it externally, right? But nobody gives a shit about your intent when your execution was poor and it did not your intent did not come to fruition.
well, let me say this. Let me also say this, and I'm going to end it and inject this into the society we live in. First off, too many people have an opinion about whatever you do now, and they can
Hmm.
vote, right? So if Samore told that joke at a comedy show or whatever, right? If there was no social media, there was no place to post it. Niggas have to just sit with that, and nobody would get together and think about it at all. The people who was there to joke would have said, "Oh, that's a kind of funky joke." Because what I heard more, I heard way more funkier jokes than that in a live comedy show. That
Right.
when listen, when we was in college, when you had no means of whatever you seen is what you seen, and damn
Hmm.
probably can repeat it, and you'd be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did that or said that or that happened," and you would have to be like, "Oh, you had to be there to know it happened." Today, we live in a society where this is a problem for our relationships as well. Everybody got a god darn opinion, and they
Yes.
believe that their opinion is valuable to the world. But I think that
Sometimes more valuable.
Charles Barkley said it a long time ago. Everybody got opinion. They like assholes. So your opinion really doesn't mean anything because your opinion to me will always be subjective to how you want it to be. See,
Mhm.
objective is looking at her joke and saying, I can understand the point she's saying. I also can understand that maybe it was maybe not in the best taste, but I can understand she has the right to tell jokes just like anybody else.
There's
Whereas
some
we
more.
see
I
many
think
times
things are not.
people are way
And this is where the lines blur in real life. And this is where I blame social media, not social media, but where I blame reality TV. Right. This woman tells jokes for a
right.
living. This is a joke. Like this is not, and this is not like when what's his name was like the niggers are in the back of the room, the Seinfeld guy. No. And if you know some more and you know her body of work, this is what she does. This is it. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? This is like this is some more. This is some more body of work. This is it, you can like her or not like her, and I don't think this will break her or it won't. But with the lines of like real life and fake life, and the sad part about it for Black people is that we never actually even we've never even defined the culture of Black America when it comes to like love and holidays and all of those shit. We don't even really know what we want to be called. You
Listen,
Black, you African American.
we don't do it in a realistic term, because guess what? People will be more likely to say they want to love like they used to be, like the Cosby Show, right? Right? Remember
Mm,
that? Remember when you wanted to be like
yeah.
Cliff and
No, and the thing is, you didn't even see the flaws that they had. I say this
right?
all
You
the
didn't,
time.
it wasn't.
Their children were fucked
Instead
up.
of instead of earlier days of people saying they want to be like Ozzy and Ruby, right? Because
Well,
that was a
well, they
real.
had an open marriage too. So you probably should strive to be like Ozzy and Ruby because they figured
Well,
out very early in
we
life.
got today. But that's the kind of couples we got today, right? We got
Right.
Jada and Will. We got
But listen to this right here. Listen to how slick they were though. You never knew. I listened to something that they said. Ozzy actually said we decided to have an open marriage early in our relationship, but we decided that we would never hurt each other or compromise our relationship. So
listen.
the desire had to sometimes come secondly to the love because the desire was not it was not a desire that was safe for the love that they committed to. But whoever even knew that Ruby and Ozzy had an open relationship? Who knew that?
It, who would have cared? Because guess what?
Right.
At this point, when you even just said what you said, I want to break this, and I want people to really pay attention to this. They were so self-actualized that they were able to communicate what was going to be best for them to maintain
Mm-hmm.
to stay. Listen, I want this to be very vivid and clear. They were so self-actualized that they didn't focus on their relationship because they did a whole bunch of other things outside
Mm-hmm.
of just being actors, to advocate civil rights for our people, for our communities, and all. They raised their kids, they raised their family. I want you to think about all of this, but they didn't get hung up on somebody's idea of how their relationship should be. And they brought their value. Listen, they brought their values.
Mm-hmm.
Their values is exactly what you said. Not to ever do anything to hurt, and people be like, but how is that not hurting if you was somebody? Because that's not important. Because guess what? That's saying that, hey, somebody gonna say something about your mama.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They gonna say it because they know it's the trigger. It's gonna happen. And for you to say it doesn't matter what they say about my mama because it's not. That's not important. That's not. They don't know my
Mm-hmm.
mama and all that. So there's somebody who's gonna try to screw Ozzy. Somebody gonna try to screw Ruby. They're gonna try to get with him. And guess what? 9 out of 10 human beings are human beings, and they might fall victim to the flesh. That happens, right? But also know that sometimes we become very sober after we do something wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
We become sober, especially when we have made this kind of commitment and never hurt. I never do this. You'd be like, oh no, 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 no,
Not you. Move on.
no. Listen, it happened, but I got a wife. Listen, and go and tell. But see, here is the pinpoint. Ozzy and Ruby had the opportunity to come back and tell their partner
No,
without.
listen, they had the courage
Okay, they had the
because
courage to
they
come
had the
back and tell their
courage.
partner, but they had the courage. But the courage means that you had to be scared. They knew that they could come back, and it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be a blowback to end our really not. And when we talk about ending, I'm not talking about ending their relationship, but it wouldn't be this thing that then would destroy them for what they did. Because listen, people feel guilt, people feel shame, people feel pride. If I go and cheat, and maybe I wasn't cheating, or maybe I was okay, whatever. If I have some type of relationship with somebody outside, and then I realize, and I come back and tell my partner, if I'm going to be penalized for coming back and telling them and realizing where I explain to them what the situation, how it is, if I'm going to be penalized, I might as well not told them and kept on doing it until I couldn't do it no more. And
But you know what?
that's
This
what's happening today. People are scared to
yeah.
say, and say that because they're going to be penalized. And because they're going to be penalized, they then stay with the sneak with this. Because once you tell, now you feel, if you have real emotions and feelings for that person, you feel funny. You
But
feel
the
great.
thing is, so I think about this. I know we skip right to, the affair, but there's so many other things in between that you can make safe spaces to talk about.
Right.
When you first meet somebody, when we're talking about your past, when we're talking about a past, and I can remember my brother telling me, don't ever tell another dude what another dude did because he only gonna do a little bit more. Like, like, be quiet. Don't really talk about your past. Like, and for me, it's very hard because I'm a talker and I'm a communicator, right? And so when we're talking about, daddy issues or anything like that, from the beginning with us, especially us who are of the middle class or who have raised above whatever it is we were not supposed to be, we can't have normal conversations about things that make us normal human beings, right? Or flawed human beings. And if we do have them, we have to have them in the context in which I'm so healed. I'm healed. I'm the most healed person in the world. And, I can now be a life coach and everything else because
You
what
can't.
didn't kill me made me stronger versus being able to be vulnerable with your partner and say, I am still broken from this. And there are times when this little girl may come up. And when she comes up, I need you to hold her hand because she's going to come up. But we have never really taken time to have the courage to allow each other to be that. And that's the part that, because we always can jump to the sensation of sex because sex is an easy. I always say that sex is an easy emotion, so we can always jump. But how do we talk about allowing that person to be that broken little boy who might have been molested? And that's why sometimes I draw back from you and I don't do this. Or that little girl who was, I'm just going to use the basics, had daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? Or that little boy whose mom never made him feel safe, or like all of those things. I just don't think that we give each other the space to talk about those in a broken way. And then if it is broken, then what you're doing is trying to make that person the hero. But what I'm saying is I don't need you to be the hero. I need you to be my caution light. I need you to say, okay, well, today you're having this day and I'll let you have, let's let little Fawn out because little Fawn is having this day and tell me what I need to do to help you get through this day. I'm not sure if we're intentional enough to be the Rubies and the Ozzies because I feel like before they got to open relationship sexually, they got to communication, open communication. And I think we skipped all around that as people because what we think really does solve the issue is that pleasure of sex. And which is why we have so many man whores and all of the other things. Like we just sex because it's so easy and it's so simple and it's so quick. And let's just have it. And I'm pleased for whatever time I'm pleased for. And so it looks like, ooh, I want an open relationship. But open is big, is open, in my opinion, open is open to everything. That means that you're open to knowing when I robbed that bank or when I did whatever. And this is why I do this way. Because you and I, we are serial justifiers. And it sometimes it looks like a weakness, but it's just what we're trained to do. And I always tell people, I'm trained to see the why. It doesn't give an excuse as to why somebody's doing it. But I think that if we all just took a peek into the why, we may Black culture, Black love could be understanding your person's why. But we're so busy trying to Black love like Europeans
Right.
We just don't really we never really even get to what black love needs to
Because
thrive.
black love for us has a different. It is based. It's based from the pure. Here's our problem with this black love, with love in general. Our black love is the original love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it has been oppressed and as I said, remixed to another type of love that we feel is our original love. Like our original black beauty is not the beauty. We think that another beauty is the beauty. It's getting to the point of having the getting away from the cognitive dissonance of what you think something is to begin to start thinking about what it really is. Once you're able to do that, now you're able to have a conversation to recognize that these conversations can only happen if you recognize that your love is the original love, right? Not trying to be some standard that's not even that you can't be because you are too broken for that to like the bicycle that you want to ride on don't fit your legs, but you still trying to ride it and say I'm gonna win the race. No, you got to get on. You have to recognize that hey, this is not our bicycle. Let me make a bicycle that fit for me, where we lay down and we push, push forward instead of pushing down.
But you know what that's gonna go back with for me. I gotta still put the responsibility on the broken person to fix that. Because women, I think we heal a little bit differently, and sometimes we can go without therapy because sometimes you may find little therapeutic circles with your friends. You may be able to talk about things that you'll never be able to. A man will never be able to talk about with their friend. But if we know that we have these spots in our lives that are broken, why are we not taking responsibility to fix them? I'm saying we when I talk about men, because I do feel like women.
Why are you
I
talking
do
about we? Because it's listen. Do you believe that men have a monopoly on being broken?
no, I believe that men have a monopoly on not getting help for being broken.
But understand why though. See, I think that listen, and here is the funny, strange twist of that. The men that you're describing have a monopoly on not getting healed, right? That even though they're broken. And the twist to that has been that women have become so empowered that they don't believe they have anything broken. They believe that everything else is broken.
No, no,
Yes. Yes.
no.
This,
No, well, let me just say this. The empowerment comes from that broken person giving it to that woman. If you continuously serve up this broken dish, right? You just keep serving this crap, serving this crap, serving this crap. And the woman is surviving through you serving this crap. At some point she does get a level of strength that's like, fuck you. I've eaten this crap for so long. Either get right or get gone. I mean, so yes, you've given her the spinach. You've given her Popeye spinach after she done took the nuck if you buck on the head.
but
So
take,
many
but let's take the ownership that it's not exclusively and has only been the black man who causes the black woman the stress and strain, right? And I think
now I'm definitely not saying that. But what I'm saying is when you identify it as the black man, the black man is exclusive to me with not getting help for issues that they know have paralyzed them. They know it. And you know this too. Even in all of the glorification of mental illness and everything else, the black man still stands strong on I don't need no help.
because they taking on the white gaze. The white men don't think they need no help.
I don't know. I think white men will get help just because they can get some off their
They don't get
insurance.
help. Where they get help from? They not getting help to stop being racist or stop being supremacists and stop treating their women the way they treat them.
But they don't have to because it's working in their homes. It's working for their children. It's working in their home. They're still prospering.
Hear it, and see what you just said. And this is the point I'm making. That doesn't work in a black home because of the oppression that both black men and women have had individually and together. You understand? So the idea that a man and a black man and a black woman try to take on the white structure of family and how their family should operate ends themselves being destructive and destroying of each other, because it is not you. It's like somebody saying that I got fragile bones and I'm about to go out here and play football. You can't play football, John.
But what do you suggest they do then? So do black men and black women stay apart from each other? What do you
Black
do
men,
if you
black
can't play
women,
football?
they give up the idea of that being a sport you got to play. We trying to play a sport that you can't play
How do you get to not wanting to play that sport if you don't recognize that you're even playing the sport?
because you're trying to be you're being conformist to the society. You're being socially constructed that this is the sport you need to play. Whereas you could play another sport and be successful. That they don't even
We're
play.
going to end this on you are giving them too much. You're giving too much leeway. These people know damn well they're not playing this sport anymore. If you have been a black man in this United States of America, you know you're not white. You know you're not playing a white man's game. White people have not been kind to you, and you know where you fit. But when you go home, that's where you lay your shit, and that's
Yeah,
where
but
you can be the white man.
yeah,
You can be the white man of your home there.
guess what? Guess what? That also has happened. The black woman also now can be the white man.
I don't think so.
Okay, listen. What? Listen. And this is why we can't get to. This is why this will not be recognized, because even though you became
She
the
will be
highest,
alone. She
because
will
you
be
became the
alone and be
biggest,
the white
yeah,
man.
but still, the idea that you're gonna have the biggest real estate agency, you're gonna have an S-class, you're gonna have your condo, you're gonna get to go travel. Listen, I know somebody right now who is traveling all around the world. They doing all this stuff, still carrying their ex-husband's name. Why you ain't
Right.
get rid of this
This
man?
is what I'm saying. She may be able to be the white man, but she's gonna be very lonely and by herself. But you know what a black man can do? Go spread this toxic shit to another black woman. So you can you can spread it to your daughters, you can spread it to your sons, you can spread it to everywhere. At some point, that black woman's gonna hit a wall. At some point, the toxic black woman will find herself by herself. Your children will be no longer. You will have nobody. You know those people. You know those people. But people will always want the love and admiration from that black man. And so when he decides not to heal, he decides that he's creating another black woman who is a white man. Because at some point, that black woman is going to
I don't know.
stop.
I don't know where you getting this.
She is. She is. At some point, she's just going to stop, and the world's going to stop on her. It's not that she's just going to stop. The world is going to stop on her. How many black single women do you know that you are describing as these white men? How many failed, flawed, horrible relationships did they go through before everybody was
How
gone?
about this? All the relationships they went through wasn't with black men. That was failed and flawed.
No, but the majority. And now what I'm gonna say is work like you. I mean, I'm not saying this is exclusive, but I am saying a good majority of this is going to fall on, I will even end it with this, black people intentionally getting help for their issues. How about that?
Listen, you took the words right out of my mouth. My argument is we have to stop arguing about what the problem is and start advocating for people to go work on what the problem is.
But
Because
we do have to identify out loud and boldly what the actual problem is. These you can't tell me, and we're gonna need to talk about this next week because I know we coming up on the time. But these relationships have been the sheer source of failed people from the beginning, from when you were birthed to when you tried to have children, get married, and all of that other stuff. All of these relationships are the result of failed people.
right,
All of these bad relationships make bad husbands, bad wives, bad children, all of them. And we just keep going on and on and on and on with it. At some point, somebody's got to say, hey, let's stop being in bad relationship with each other. Let's identify why we're in bad relationship. So we don't have to point out or blame anymore, but we do have to identify. Because you know as well as I do, Ron, if you don't identify, you're gonna be fixing the wrong thing forever.
right.
And your partner gonna have resentment against you because your partner gonna be like, "Ooh, fuck you. You wanna do this now? You didn't do this then." This is we have to all take intentional pauses and say, hey, this right here is the problem. And it might have started at 12 when this happened this way, but it's just a pause. It's a slight pause. It's not anything that we sit and we linger in. But if you don't acknowledge, then you won't know.
Right.
I'm gonna say this: black, white, Jew, Gentile, male, female. If you don't acknowledge, you won't know.
Yeah, you won't. If and you can't work on something you don't know nothing about.
Mm-mm. So for all of you black men out there, go to therapy.
Yeah, I listen. I can't argue. If listen, but I would say I will warn. I will bring my glasses down and warn the black women. Be mindful when these men go to therapy and they start to self actualize. A lot of stuff that you was used to being able to say that he more broken than me, so he has to accept. When he put the duct tape on himself, he probably won't see you the same way. He probably won't deal
Good.
with you the same way. He
He
probably won't
shouldn't.
accept you the same way, right?
He shouldn't. He
But
should go to the woman who's healed. Once
well,
he's done his work, he should leave and he should go to, because if the woman did not get help too, then she didn't do what she was supposed to do. He has every right to then exit. Because guess what? If we're in relationship, if you go to the grocery store, let's say you're in a relationship, it's rare that you go to the grocery store and you don't either A, know what your partner wants, so you don't have to have this discussion anymore, or B, discuss what your partner may want from the store.
uh-huh.
If you're going into therapy, why are we not doing the same thing? Basic grocery store run, you gonna see what your partner wants.
Mm.
So if you are going to therapy and you have not spoken with your significant other about why I'm going to therapy, this is the goal, this is what I want to get out of it, and your partner has not said, oh well, guess what, I'm on the same track with you, so I'm gonna go get my therapy, I'm gonna do this, and we're gonna check in periodically and see if we are actually reaching these goals, by all means leave. Once you become self-actualized, if there is a partner where in the beginning we decided this is what we're working towards. I'm not saying one person went to therapy, the other person did not go to therapy. I'm saying this is a intentional effort that we did with each other. And we said we're going to grow. If one person decided they wanted to stop, bye. And if it's that woman and that man became self-actualizing and he now knows like this, I don't want to live this way, you gotta go. Or what's the point? So I'm gonna completely agree with you, and I'm going to completely give that man the authority to say, I'm out of here. Because I'm better than
Yeah.
this.
And with that being said, we are out of here. we had a good night. I hope that Jaiquetta is good and fine. I didn't hear from her, but I know that I heard from her earlier this week, so she might have just been tied down, and we get her back here next week at the Black Marriage and Family. And listen, if this is a conversation, I mean, these conversations are ones that we can take and go different places with. I just want to shout out the people that was watching us tonight: Elliot Harris, James Howard, and some of the people I've seen out there.
Oh
Thanks.
Lord, it was just men. They gonna be like that male hating woman.
Well, I'm the ones I can see. I can't see all of them. I could only see the ones who actually came onto the live. So they was there. So again, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you back here next week. Black Marriage and Family. And
I do love the black man, just to let y'all know that.
yeah, she loves the black.
Bye.
She loves the black man. Good night. Good night, everybody. We'll see you here next week.